What's up, and welcome back. It's me, Eddie, here with another brand new episode of Eddie G's Comic Culture. I'd like to thank you guys for joining in as usual. Here, giving you guys another tasty episode of some comic book culture goodness, along with comic book reviews and films, and anything pop culture related from the 70s, 80s, 90s to the present. If you guys are just tuning in and joining me right now, I'd like to welcome you to the show. First things first, actually, I want you guys to realize every show I always start off sending out my shout outs to my friends and family and supporters. This show is still sponsored by the great folks over at Black Apparel, so sending a special shout out to them once again for all the work that they've done, and particularly so a good friend and brother of mine, Kevin Seawright, who has done some great contributions to the show, man. Believe me, I appreciate all the work he's put in. Make sure you guys, if you have the opportunity to do so, to check out his work. He's got some great content on the website at www.blackapparelblk.com. They've got some awesome merchandise, so in case you guys got a couple of ducats you want to spend on or splurge, make sure you check out his page. I will always send special shout outs to my friends on Instagram, my Insta friends, the one and only Strictly Comedy Vault. He's always got he's got a great page as of recent, and he's always keeping it updated with some pretty awesome content. Excuse me. He's a young up and coming writer too, so make sure you guys keep your eyes open for that. As soon as I get any information regarding his work, I'm always gonna post it up on the show before we start. And of course, sending another special shout out to another Instagram friend of mine, as well as a YouTube friend, also Blu-ray Dan. He's also got his page is awesome. Honestly, he keeps it constantly refreshed with movies, Blu-ray unboxings, Ultra 4K Blu-ray unboxings, some awesome stuff, and as well as his YouTube channel, which is also he serves as a pretty great inspiration as well for the show for me. The man has got some awesome reviews as well, so make sure you check him out whenever you have the opportunity to do so. And last but not least, a good friend of mine, Dennis Knight, he's a writer on an indie publisher in New York City, Pronto Comics. He's got his own book, Cross Comic, out. Make sure you pick up that material. He just wrapped up this past weekend's New York Comic Con. So if you guys were there and you managed to see him, let me know exactly how it went. And basically, I want to start off the show today. First and foremost, I want to start off with an apology to you guys. I know recently I've been kind of out of the loop with the consistency. I've had I've had some things personally going on in my life, of course, but I was also toying around with some ideas for the show. And in all honesty, I'm going to start making the show quite a bit. I'm just going to be condensing my episodes now. So instead of just doing separate 20-minute segments or 10-15-minute shows, I'm just going to combine them all into one episode for you guys. So it's probably going to be around the area of the runtime of anywhere from 45 to maybe an hour. But definitely, that's basically one of the main things I've been toying around with a lot. So I've just been spitballing some ideas with, not just myself, but of course my sponsor, Black Apparel, especially Kevin Seawright. And it seems like a pretty good idea, so let's hope that the feedback is even more positive from you guys. Okay, so I'm sorry guys, I've just been doing traps today at the gym, so I kind of got to get my stretch on in between here and there, so excuse me for that. But let's start off the show. This weekend, I happened to see, of course, I know, if you guys haven't seen it, make sure you go out there and see it. I did see Blade Runner 2049.
I thought you might be able to help me with the case. Any idea where I could find him?
You police plan on taking me in?
I would much prefer that to the alternative.
Every leap of civilization was built off the back of slaves. Replicants are the future, but I can only make so many. I had the luck and he has the key.
I think I found him.
That's not possible. If this gets out, we've bought ourselves a war.
You're a cop. I had your job once.
Things were simpler then.
What do you want?
I want to ask you some questions. What happened?
I covered my tracks. Scrambled the records. We were being hunted.
By who?
They know you're here.
You do not know what pain is yet. You will learn. Bring it to me.
This breaks the world.
We have to go.
I'm coming with you.
Where is he? The future of the species is finally unearthed.
Yes, I saw the follow-up to my favorite science fiction film of all time. Guys, I'm going to try to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible because it's, you know, it's a hell of a... it's... you could tell right now by my facial expressions how I'm trying to not, you know, trying not to go into detail about what I saw in the film. Guys, whatever worries you people may have had from the beginning regarding this movie, you can put them to rest. I honestly can tell you at this point, you can definitely put whatever worries you had regarding this film to rest. This, to me, honestly, I think this is a perfect, and this review very much so echoes my friend Blu-ray Dan. This movie was a perfect 10. In all honesty, I think it was a perfect 10. You know, I know a lot of people. I know you're probably a little worried, or you're probably a little concerned about the runtime because it is a pretty long film. It's way longer than the first one. It runs about 3 hours. Honestly, it runs about 3 hours. But once you immerse yourself, once the movie from start to finish. The pacing was not an issue for me. The pacing was definitely not an issue for me because I was so enamored with what I was watching from beginning to end. This film, and if you have the opportunity, make sure you go see it in IMAX because I think that's the only way you can really see it. And to really appreciate the scale of what this film presents, you guys have to see it in IMAX. It is unbelievable. It literally takes all of the important points of the first film and builds up to something so original and on its own. It's unbelievable. It literally is unbelievable. I went with my father to see it on Saturday night, and even my father, I was even concerned myself that I thought my father was probably going to fall asleep halfway through. The man was awake throughout the entire film. And even he had said his words, honestly, because he wanted to go. I asked him about the first film and when he saw it in theaters, if he saw it in theaters, and he said he did. He went to a drive-in in the Bronx to watch it, I believe, back when it was first released, and with my mom. So, and he loved the film more than he loved the second. He loved 2049 more than he loved the first one. He thought it was that good. From start to finish, you get riveting performances. I have a whole new respect for Ryan Gosling as an actor now. The man he won me over because of the simple fact, and I hate to say this because I kind of find myself falling victim to that. Oh, he's just one of those, he's one of those pretty boy actors that he just he's got a large female following, of course, and he's just just a face for the camera, a pretty face for the camera, and wow, I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong all along. I was wrong about him I was way off the mark with my assumption with Ryan Gosling's performance and his skill in acting. Honestly, because I was skeptical, man. I was really skeptical, not to say the least. I was cautiously optimistic walking into the film, well, into the months leading up to the film's release, and believe me, I have the original on Blu-ray, the final cut. And trust me when I tell you, I've at least seen that movie at least 20 times since January. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding with you guys. I'm serious. I must have seen the original at least 20 times since January. At least 12 alone in January and February. Like once, like it was going on. Like I was putting it on every weekend for like I don't know. Like I was just itching after the teaser trailer for 2049 dropped. I was going crazy, stone crazy, because Blade Runner was like I've given my review, my ode to Blade Runner in one of my other episodes, my tribute episode to it, and it was one of those movies that to me I always had to keep going back. I always had to keep going back to catch whatever was done, and it just for any possible misses that I may have had in the because of the dialogue and everything. And then when I read the book, "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep" by Philip K. Dick, which is what the movie is actually based on. Both of these films actually. I saw some slight differences, but this is exactly what really intrigued me the most was the fact that the author of the book fell in love with the first film, fell in love with what Blade Runner, what Blade Runner was, and so going off on that, I had really cautious, like I had high hopes for 2049 because of everything that I saw, from the trailers, from the teaser trailer starting on up. They didn't give so much away. And they honestly could have, because like I said before, the movie, like as I mentioned earlier, the film is 3 hours long, pretty much. It's not like they could have ran out of material to just post up on any of the trailers. But what they did so well with the marketing of this film was that it was shrouded in mystery. But what a movie! I think this film deserves to be nominated for numerous Oscars, numerous Oscars this next year, because of the simple fact of the Roger Deakins. He's done a fantastic job. The man that the cinematographer on this film, he does. Everyone involved has done so perfectly well with this film. And even I'm trying to find the correct words, because well is just a complete understatement of what I saw. Good is a complete understatement of what I saw. Great is just an understatement of what I saw. This is past the point of what I would call an honorable follow-up. This is in terms, it holds up an equality. It's the only sequel that I know that I could say to you guys that's on film that's actually equal to the first, as far as quality, as far as story, as far as performances are concerned, literally in every aspect of the movie. And the visuals of this film is just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Los Angeles in the at 2049 in the late 21st, mid 21st century, just looks absolutely stunning from what it's shown on camera. And it was just unreal. It was literally unreal. I was blown away from what I had to see. It was just, I'm still trying to, and the thing is, I was putting down my notes earlier on my phone yesterday to see about how I can express this is the film that actually. This is a first for me, because after 3 hours of watching this movie, the movie's 3 hours long. I'm sorry for elaborating on that so much, but the movie is 3 hours long, and yet I still wanted to go right back to watch it again. I still wanted to go back for a second rewatch immediately after that. That's how I know this film is fantastic. This movie deserves all of the accolades that it gets, and then some. and then some. The performance is outstanding, outstanding. Even from Batista himself. And mind you guys, I thought, Batista, for what he started out as for his humble beginning, starting out as a wrestler, I think we all need to keep an eye open for him. I think we all need to keep an eye open for him. I think Hollywood needs to keep an eye open for him. I know he's capable. He is capable, man. He has range. He is capable of the range to be an actor, an A-list actor, not just the stuff you see in action movies or any of that. Just he's not just one of those guys, regardless of his size, because the man is a monster. He's like 6'5", 6'6", or something like that, and he's built like a brick shithouse. If that's even probably an understatement. But the man is massive, to say the least. The man is like, he's like Colossus. But he has range. He has the range. He's got the capability to carry a role. I believe he does have a capability of carrying a movie, possibly on his own, at this point of his career. And I gotta be honest with you, I love Dwayne Johnson. He's another former wrestler turned another professional wrestler, former wrestler turned actor, professional actor. He's one of the highest paid. I think he was the highest paid actor last year. And I'm actually seeing that. I think that Batista can actually. I think Batista can. All right, let me just come out and say I think he actually has the chops to go ahead and surpass him in that profession. And honestly, so it's evident in the movie. It's evident in the movie, and if you don't believe me, there's a short. They got shorts released on from Denis Villeneuve, the director himself of the film, for Blade Runner 2049, which kind of like displays the events of what led up to the film and what's going on, and the evolution of what has happened since the first movie is just absolutely spot on. It's beautiful the way it was carried out, the way it was illustrated, the way it was explained. It was just unbelievable. It was just absolutely perfect. It was perfect. It was amazing to see exactly what it was, because I fell in love with Blade Runner about 7-8 years ago. When I was a kid growing up, I always knew about Harrison Ford. I loved Harrison Ford movies. I grew up with Star Wars and Indiana Jones, of course, and then the other features like The Fugitive and Clear and Present Danger and then Air Force One. I knew about Harrison Ford being, he was up there as one of the greatest actors to me. And then, but my father always had a VHS copy of Blade Runner. I never got around to seeing it, although I did see the cover, and I always thought, I looked at the cover and the back, the cover art and the back of the tape, I just, I didn't really pay too much attention to it, although the aesthetic of it looked awesome, even just on the cover art. So I was pretty much intrigued about it, but I never got around to seeing it. So when I finally saw it, I was actually blown away by what it was. And, the fact that everything the way things were just explained in the movie, the way that the dystopian future it shows, this depicted in the first film, was just really mind-blowing to me. So having to see that and then seeing it constantly throughout, watching it religiously throughout the last 7 to 8 years right about now, I've become attached to it. I became attached to it. I became attached to a lot of the messages in that film, the messages about society, how we view each other, how we interact with one another, how the world is going, the direction that the world is going in today, and even back then, was, it really grasped me by. It tugged not just my heartstrings, but really it puts you to think exactly what's going on. It puts you to think about the possibilities of what a future is like, of a as I said before, a dystopian city, living in a society as such. So it really was an intense experience watching the first film and rewatching it, and I just had an undying love for the movie. As you guys know, I made an entire tribute episode dedicated to it, and this film was just it literally elevated everything from the first to a whole nother level. And guys, if you do have the opportunity, make sure you go out to see it this weekend. Please go see it. Support it. It's originality. It is This is what movies are made for. This is what you go to see IMAX for. This is what you go to see movies in general for. This is real. This is what the originality in cinema looks like. It really is. It really is, and you can't be disappointed by it. If you have to go a little inebriated, I don't give a shit. Just go. Just watch it and take it in for what it is. Take it in. Just take it, just take it in for what it's worth, what it's about, what it shows. If you gotta go in high or drunk, I don't give a shit. Just make sure you go see it, support it. This is the type of stuff. See, these are the type of films that I want to see Hollywood generate. Apart from the comic book films, apart from the comic book features and the sappy crap and these regurgitated, ridiculous horror movies. That nobody has any business even supporting in the first place. Like we have what's this new crap coming out this Friday called Happy Death Day? What a crock of shit. Seriously. And it's just, and I'm pretty sure there's another, I'm pretty sure there's another carbon copy of this film lying around somewhere, in the video store, either in Best Buy or in Amazon or somewhere. You don't want to see replicated, you don't want to see the regurgitated garbage on film, on screen. Go see Blade Runner 2049, folks. It is a fantastic picture. It's a fantastic film. It's a picture perfect. It's a full on 10. It's a full on 10. Do yourselves a favor and treat yourselves if you can. So, with that being said, I'm gonna move right about along. So, let's discuss. Of course, yes. What was it? 2 days ago, the Justice League trailer, the final Justice League trailer, has been released, and okay, I'll talk about it. I know I've been dancing around the Justice League film for a while now, but okay, I think I'm actually I think I'm very cautious. The same approach I'm taking. You know how I was. All right. Reiterating what I said about Blade Runner 2049. How I said I was cautiously optimistic about this movie. This one is worse because I'm actually like walking on my tippy toes with anticipation regarding what this movie's gonna be. We all know what happened. We all know the story. We all know the background of this movie and how things have been and what led up to it and the shaky start that this cinematic universe for DC has gone off to. And the trailer starts off with that with some sort of a dream sequence that Lois is having, and it's a beautiful shot though. It's a beautiful shot opening up to it where she walks out to the porch of the Kent resident in Smallville, and she sees Clark standing in the middle of the cornfield, just grazing, just grazing just grazing the leaves, I guess you could say, from the ears of corn out there. So, then of course, finally, we get to see Henry Cavill actually act like Superman. And that one tiny speck, even though it wasn't too much, where he just pretty much said, "I'll take that as a yes," and then she says, "What?" And then he turns around with a smile on his face. He has that Superman smile on his face, the ring. And then we just take off from there. It looks like a fantastic piece as far as the action is concerned. I know it's going to be heavy, it's going to be a heavy action flick. It's going to be definitely something to be worthy of beholding in amazement as far as the visuals are concerned. I don't know how the story's going to play out, guys. I'm very cautious. I'm very nervous about Justice League because no matter what, even with all the changes and all this stuff, it is still, the imprint on this movie is still from Zack Snyder. And we all know how that's turned out already. We all know about how his influence is really like, we all know what his influence really does to movies. And to get up in there, to spend that money, and to go opening weekend, it's going to be a little hard to do that with a smile on the face, considering everything that's going, everything that's happened regarding the behind the scenes of this picture. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I'm definitely hoping I'm wrong. I'm dying to be incorrect that, this movie will resemble any of the past entries. But, it's really a shake of the dice, man. It really is a shake of the dice. So to say the least, I'm kind of just bracing myself for the impact. However, the footage does look good. A lot of people are saying, the one thing a lot of people are actually bigging up about this is the fact that, they've kept the Superman Returns shrouded in mystery. To me, it's all bullshit. We all know he's coming back in this movie. We all know he's coming back. It was just a crock of shit, honestly speaking. You know how I feel about the premature death of Superman storyline, and from BB and Dawn of Justice. It really wasn't it really was just not the right place and the time for it. It was a stupid move, quite actually. And that's really one of the main things that kind of killed the film for me. However, it looks like these guys actually have some pretty great chemistry so far, from what we've seen from what we've seen through the trailers, between the Flash and Batman, and Aquaman and Cyborg, and Aquaman and Batman as well. But surprisingly enough, you don't see Wonder Woman too much interacting with them as much as Batman has with the rest of as Batman has in this film with the rest of them. But I definitely, I'm sure that changes upon the film's release. But it looks beautifully made. I gotta give it that. But these are just aesthetics. You can't just go off on that. You really can't go off on that, because at the end of the day, if it could look gorgeous, it could look beautiful all at once, but if it doesn't have the heart of the original, if it doesn't have any heart to it whatsoever, then it's just a pointless ride. It's a pointless film. It doesn't have nothing really to offer fans. It doesn't really have nothing to really offer us. It has things to offer. It definitely would offer plenty for those who are fans of Snyder, diehard fans, cultists, I guess you could say, purists or loyalists or whatever you want to call them. I'm sure that it has plenty for them to be, to sink their teeth in. But I can't really say. I really don't know. How visible is Joss Whedon's influence in the film is really something different also as well. But the fact that he actually hired Danny Elfman to do the soundtrack, and what I've been hearing as of recently was Danny Elfman apparently revisiting the original scores of the characters of Batman and Superman, that's also a major plus for me. That's very much so a positive sign. And it kind of gives away, it really kind of like, I hope, I know that this film is, but, I really just hope that this closes the Snyder chapter. I hope that this film finally does that one. This is the one thing I want from this movie. Close the book on the Snyder era. We don't need any more of his films. We don't need any more of his influence. We don't need any more of his vision. It's proven to be stale for the characters as is already. And for all of those who want to go ahead and respond saying, oh, well, Snyder wrote Wonder Woman, he was one of 3 writers who wrote Wonder Woman. So don't go ahead and just, I know a lot of you guys, I know a lot of his fans like to get off on the idea that he was the main culprit, that he was the one in the writing room to completely send it off. That bullshit. There was 2 other writers. He was one of 3. So give them the credit that's possible, that's due, because I really, I'm pretty sure he peppered in a few things here and there that made the movie good. But the other 2 writers, I believe, are the ones who actually made Wonder Woman, along with the work of Patty Jenkins behind the camera as well. So to be honest with you, I want this film to work, but I want it to be the end of the Snyder era. I want no more of his vision or influence going from here on out after in the DC cinematic universe. It's not needed. It's proven already to be ineffective. It's not needed, and this is the must win. This is a must win for Warner Brothers and DC for them to get their franchise right off the ground correctly. So with that being said, I'm hoping that this is, like I said before, let's just fingers crossed, prayers up, whatever the hell you do, whatever it is that you guys want to do. But I personally, whatever it takes, I just want Snyder's vision done, over with already. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I have gratitude for what he's done with Superman for Man of Steel, but he's pretty much delayed the process of releasing a sequel to Man of Steel, which is, to me, regardless of its flaws, regardless of Man of Steel's flaws, it still had enough of a platform for them to build a foundation off of. So for them to just completely go for another Batman-centered, for a Batman-centered film, which really wasn't even a Batman-centered film. It was just more Bruce Wayne. As I said before, I call it Bruce Wayne versus Clark Kent with a special guest appearance by Diana Prince. that was just another ridiculous film in all of its glory. And to be quite honest, that was a 3 hour, to see the film fully fleshed out that I bought it on Blu-ray, to watch the Ultimate Edition, that wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth 3 hours. It really wasn't. Sue me, you dislike me, you unfollow me, whatever. I don't care, but this is my show and it's my opinion. That movie really did absolutely, the Ultimate Edition for Dawn of Justice did little to nothing for me regarding the film's appeal. So with that being said, I'm going to move right along. And it looks like, oh, that's right, wrapping up the New York Comic Con. So far, nothing big that I really actually looked forward to is coming out that I saw. The one thing I was actually looking forward to, honestly, was The Punisher, the Netflix series. And unfortunately, due to what happened in Las Vegas, they canceled the panel. Personally, I don't like to discuss certain sensitive topics of that nature, but I think it would have been in the best interest to go ahead and do the panel anyway. Showing that it doesn't, to show that that kind of evil doesn't prevail in our lives in society. I understand that we need to respect the laws of these people, absolutely, and this is a horrific tragedy. I'm not taking that away at all. It should have never happened in the first place, but to have an effect on our level of entertainment, and these are characters that are just make believe. And yes, the man, the Punisher is a vigilante centered on murdering his victims, well, criminals mainly. That's all it is. That he murders criminals. And he uses guns to do so, a heavy artillery at that. But part of the progress is to move along and make sure. We also knew, I'm not going to get into a political aspect of it, but I believe that we should just have, they should have at least given them the panel for the New York Comic Con at least. I would have loved to have seen John Bernthal shine, because to me, he's one of the best. I think he's the best casting decision they've really made in that, in the Marvel Netflix universe. I think he was the best casting decision that they ever made. So to have an opportunity for him to run a panel on his own would have been fantastic, and I would have caught the whole thing on if I had to live stream it. I wouldn't care, but it was canceled, so there goes that, and that was a bummer. That was a huge bummer. The show that just doesn't want to, that just keeps on going. The Walking Dead apparently seems to have confirmed the crossover. Robert Kirkman, I believe, or one of the shows. I don't give a shit anymore. But one of the writers, or one of the producers, have definitely confirmed. I think Andrew Lincoln as well, the guy who plays Rick Grimes, the actor, confirmed that there is going to be a Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead crossover. I don't really give a shit. In all honesty, I know there's a lot of Dead fans out there, and Walking Dead, not Grateful Dead, but I know a lot of them are pretty much psyched about it, and some of them, I've actually heard. I still haven't seen it, but I heard a lot of good things about Fear the Walking Dead. People have said that it's actually better than The Walking Dead, but as of recently, I've just lost. Especially last season of The Walking Dead really turned me off. It really turned me off. I have never seen such a season filled with countless filler episodes. Countless filler episodes from characters from previous seasons that nobody gave a shit about in the first place. I mean, I don't even remember that other girl's name, and they still gave her an episode. The one with who I thought was she was like the gay character on the show. I know she walked onto the scene with Rosita, if I'm not mistaken. If I could be wrong, but they gave her an entire episode. Like, who the fuck cares? Why should anybody watch this shit? Why should anyone care about her character? I thought, to be honest with you, I'm surprised she even lasted this long. I forgot she was even alive, and yet they had a whole show, and this was the type of bullshit that went on and on and on throughout the whole season. Like, what the hell is going on with the storyboard here? And they thought that they were just, it was nice that they had a few episodes, like the mid-season finale or whatever, but who cares? Like, what they always do that shit. They have these bomb-ass intros, these season intro episodes, then it's more dumb shit, and then it becomes, now it's literally my problem with Walking Dead it's literally become formulaic now, and it's not the same anymore. It's not tracking the way it used to be, and even though the rating, it's still the number one show, the ratings have dropped. The ratings still have dropped, which means that I'm not the only person who feels this way. There's quite a number of people out there who are on the same level with me, who are on the same boat with me, that are getting kind of tired of the repetitive shit. What's the purpose of introducing a character like Negan from the comics if you're just going to keep peppering him here and there in the show? What's the purpose of having him there if he's not going to be doing some serious van damage, or and he's just going to be talking shit throughout? Because that was another thing too. That was another way to fill episodes with him, is just have Negan talk a bunch of shit. Who cares? Who cares? Where is the story going? Where's the plot going? Where are these characters going? Who the fuck are these other characters that you guys are introducing? Where the hell are these freaking... Why are you caring about peppering in these characters from past seasons that nobody gave a shit about, that the entire... that I'm pretty sure... a couple of million people probably thought the same thing. Like, damn, I thought she was dead already. What the hell? How did she survive? And all this, that, and the third. I don't care. I don't care. And yet, that's exactly what the show revolved around last season. And at that point, after the mid-season reintroduction, after they came back from mid-season break, I was, that was like, man, I got so fed up. I was like, man, I'm killing myself staying up, because I was working in sanitation at the time, so I used to have to get up extreme at the ass crack of dawn. When I say the ass crack of dawn, I'm talking about 3:30 in the morning, having to get up for work. So I'm staying up late by watching that show at 9 o'clock. And I told myself, I was like, man, if this doesn't pick up by the next couple of episodes, I'm done with it. See you, goodbye, peace, have a good life. I really don't care, because this is ridiculous. And it did get ridiculous. It was just pointless episodes. I don't know what the hell they were doing with Rick Grimes. Rick Grimes completely became spineless throughout that entire season. Even though he had some moments even though they gave him some chances and moments for him to stand up, it still turned out to be some dumb shit. Then Daryl, and God knows what the fuck's going on with him, and him being captured, and then him leaving, and what the hell, man? This show has literally lost its track, like, big time. And I know there's a couple of fans that are probably watching my show right now, watching this and disagreeing with me vehemently. These are characters. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of fans, because I'll tell you, I've been on the social media sites, Facebook and so on and so forth, and this show has got some seriously rabid fans. If God forbid you have anything negative to say, because they will attack you on your opinion. Oh, if you don't like it, then you can get the hell out. You don't have to watch the damn show. Well, guess what? The point is to have a lot of people to watch the show, so the show's survival can extend. So it doesn't have to get the axe from the network by, out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, well, you guys completely dropped a shit ton of ratings, so, cancellation, click. Because it was ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? They're just as ridiculous, and yet they still praise it like it's absolutely, it's false praise. It's false praise. They're just going hard because they're fucking loyalists. They're purists. They just want to be involved. They just want to go ahead and, it's just ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. You gotta, guys, you gotta let go. It's okay to say that you're disappointed. It's okay to say the material is bad. It's okay to say that you're not satisfied with the product like you were beforehand. It's okay to say these things. It really is. I'm sure that you guys, and this, even the fans, even the fanatics that love this show, the cultists that defend it to that defend it to bitter end, they even have their moments too where they find themselves disappointed. They just don't want to admit it because they're so There's a problem upstairs. The elevator doesn't go all the way up to the top floor, I guess you could say. But it's really missing out, man. Like, it's really it's really striking out with me as of recent. So I'm not even, I could care less. I know there's a lot of Dead fans that are, probably going giddy and, happier than a pig in shit at this point about this. But I personally am not. So, that seems to be about the only interesting thing that came in there, outside of the fact that the Justice League final trailer debuted that weekend as well of New York Comic Con. That was about the only thing that was interesting. Other than the fact that you saw a bunch of, and I miss New York Comic Con. I was, if I was there, I would have gone. I would have definitely loved to stop by and see my friend Dennis and stop at his table. I probably would have spent more time like I usually do at the small press sections and than anything else, and then just visiting the rest of the other just stopping at all the other comic store booths that I visited as well. But yeah, like seriously, that's my major gripe with Walking Dead right now. That's what's grinding my gears with Walking Dead right now. But moving right along, I just also started this weekend. By the way, I just started watching, since I got the Amazon Fire Stick, I started watching Vikings now. And what a show. What a good show, man. I'm very impressed by what I heard a lot of things about it too, because everybody usually talks about Game of Thrones, and I'm very behind on Game of Thrones, guys. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I hate to say it, I apologize, but I'm very behind on my Game of Thrones. The last time I saw Game of Thrones, I started watching it about a couple of years ago, and I haven't even reached the halfway point in the first season, so please forgive me. Don't heart me. I will be getting to it very soon, but unfortunately right now my attention has literally spanned over to Vikings since I don't have any HBO access at this point. I do have to get something, but apparently it's killing me right about now. It's killing me right now that I got to get through all this stuff, because even with CBS, I'm trying to see Star Trek Discovery, and I can't even get that on, I can't even get that going right about now, but whatever. I'll find my way. Believe me, I will find my way. But wow, what a great show. What I like the most about Vikings, of course, apart from the story, is the cinematography is excellent, the visuals great. It's violent, but it doesn't go into, it's violent, and it does show the brutality. It goes into the brutality, but it doesn't glorify it. It doesn't get gory with the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's so excellent about it. Even with some of the sex, these are Vikings, so you're gonna be dealing with you're gonna be dealing with sex scenes and so on and so forth. But even that's not even, they don't elaborate on that. They make sure that it elaborates on what's the cause, the effect, and what's happening, and that's why I like the way the show has been going so far. I think it's been really excellent, and so I'm actually just starting the second season right now, so it's starting off pretty good. Also, I like to see something that's it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I haven't gone to that level yet where I can call it Breaking Bad good, but it's literally it's impressing me more and more as it goes along. So definitely I love the show. For I could see I'm loving what I see so far, and it's a great show. It really is. So if you have any streaming services like Hulu, Amazon Prime, or even Hulu, I just found out today that it was on Hulu myself. So I was like, shit, man, I could have just checked this out on Hulu a long time ago. It never dawned on me to think about checking Hulu for it. But when the Fire Stick, man, was the one that actually brought it to my attention. Where would I like to watch it? After asking Alexa, But then it goes off, and then it's a great show, absolutely. I love the characters. I keep forgetting the priest's name, but of course Ragnar Lothbrok and his brother Rollo, Gabriel Byrne, who played the Earl in the series. He was pretty great too. He was a hateful son of a bitch, but he was also an awesome character, guys. Definitely make sure definitely get on that if you guys have any streaming services to catch it. If not, I'm not going to advocate any illegal activities here, but that sounds hypocritical because I kind of actually did earlier on regarding Blade Runner 2049. But if you could stream it through another site that you don't have to pay for it, do what you got to do. Hey. So, but yeah, man, it's an excellent show. Make sure you check that out. It's going to be, because Game of Thrones isn't coming back for a while, and plus when it does come back, it's going to be the final season anyway. I don't know if that'll be who knows by the time it comes back on, if Vikings will be finishing up then as well. But, you never know. So, moving right along, yes, the Star Wars Last Jedi trailer came out. Definitely, that was another thing to watch. And a lot of people have watched it, and don't get me wrong, I love the trailer. I think it's a beautiful trailer. A lot of a lot of impact with certain scenes that they showcased on there. It got difficult once I saw Carrie Fisher. I didn't realize how much it was gonna hurt personally to me when I saw Carrie Fisher. Because as you all know, we lost her early on this year. She was one of the, no, excuse me, bullshit. Like at the very last week of 2016, we lost her. And I'm a huge fan. I'm a fanatic of the original Star Wars trilogy. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 all the way. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And everyone involved in that movie has a special place in my heart. Even the guy, even Chewie. Everyone of them. So when the trailer aired, and the thing is, I'm watching the trailer and then totally slipped. I'm in awe of what's going on. I see the development for Rey and Finn and what's going on with Kylo and Poe and all these characters. And I totally, it slipped my mind after a while, when they were going to do the screenshot of when they, what happens, of what was going to happen once they had, once they have a screenshot of Leia. So, that scene that, apparently, it looks almost like Kylo's going to kill her. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not. I'm hoping that I'm dead wrong, but who knows? I mean, It was tough. It was really tough to see. Because these actors were a part of the. I have said there's a reason why I love these actors. These actors were heroes, my childhood heroes growing up. They shaped my childhood. They shaped my childhood. They shaped my teenage years. When life was tough, when life was hard, and I wanted that escape from reality, they were the ones I looked forward to. So now, and even now, it's just difficult to see them, I know nobody lives forever, and I'm not trying to turn the show into some doom and gloom right about now. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but it was hard. It was hard to see that. It really hit, and then I'm like, fuck, Carrie's gone. Like, no matter what, even if I wanted, even if she has to die in this, her character has to probably go in this movie because of, So, great trailer, beautiful. Didn't expect it to have that. The impact that it had was completely unexpected, solely for the fact of Carrie Fisher passing. So I am looking forward to it. I am going to see it opening weekend, of course. I have to. I have to. But great film. It looks like it's going to be a great film. Looks like it's going to actually elevate what what Force Awakens was. But Jesus Christ, man, I can't tell you guys how much I got hurt when I saw Princess Leia in those scenes. So, not to drag that on, but that's gonna be a hard watch. That's all I could say on that. It's definitely gonna be a hard watch. So, with that being said, I'm pretty sure I probably talked you guys' ears off enough, but I'm going to close the show out thanking you guys all once again for supporting and watching. I appreciate the love that I've gotten, the reception that I've gotten, the positive feedback, and hell, even the negative feedback as well. As I said, as I always mention in the show, this is a journey, a forum for all of us to talk, to speak, and have conversations about what we love most regarding these characters, regarding this culture. If you guys have any questions or suggestions or comments you want to lead on, just hit the comment section. I'll definitely go through it, making sure if you guys ever, if there's anything you ever wanted to see me talk about, I'll definitely put that in, I'll pen it in for future episodes, man. But once again, I thank all of you guys for all the support that I've gotten, the love that I've gotten from you guys. I've been, it's just unbelievable. Thank you so much. So, cheers to you guys, and until then, I'll be seeing you next time. Take care of yourself, and stay tuned for another episode, brand new, tasty episode of Eddie G's Comic Culture. Take care.